a productized design service called Designjoy. It's a one-man agency. Now average about probably $120 a month.
$120,000. This is for the audience, you know?
Yeah.
How would you recommend people getting their first clients? How have you seen people in your course going about getting their first clients?
A lot of people in my course have something existing where they have clients and they're like in the middle of rolling them over. So I don't know if that's worth talking about or not, but that tends to be what seems to be an easy sell. The way that I did it, Product Hunt was I call it the spark that ignited the flame. But I wouldn't base your whole marketing strategy around that because it could very well flop. It probably will flop. So what I did was building in public. So building in public gets a lot of bad rap now for good reason. There are a lot of downsides to it. But I built Designjoy in public within communities. So there's communities that are on Facebook and Slack. Obviously, a lot of people are involved in those. There's another one called Indie Hackers, which is a lot of people listening probably will be in. Some of them might be
Indie
hackers.
Indie hackers.
Basically, a group of people. For those that don't know what indie hacker is, I have my own definition. I might be wildly wrong. It's just a bunch of people like me that just do everything themselves. They don't have a lot of money. They're just bootstrapping it. They're doing all the marketing themselves, all the email stuff. They're just hacking stuff together, and you just basically share threads and posts on your milestones and your experience. You do AMAs and stuff like that. It's great. It's a free platform anyone can join, and a great place to get feedback for your startup and get landing page feedback, that sort of thing. So building Designjoy, I would frequent these communities, and the good thing that I always say about these communities is they're not algorithmic based. So they're just chronological. So when you make a post on there, it's easy to get exposure. You may not get a lot of engagement. The engagement rate's going to be based on the value of what you're providing, but as far as eyeballs, it's pretty easy to get eyeballs in communities such as those. And so running a one-man show, building Designjoy, doing the revenue that I was in, it was a notable thing that I was doing, so people were naturally interested.
Curious.
But a lot of these people are running businesses themselves, and oftentimes productized businesses that are not designed. So those were my first customers. That was my customer base for 3 years, were these people just like me doing very similar things, but wanted to utilize my skill set to elevate their productized service or their agency or whatever. So community-based stuff is free, doesn't cost a dime. You can anybody can join them. And start take more than you or give more than you take from them. That's the golden rule of a community.
You have to participate,
Participate, and and you can brag on there when you do something cool. Everyone wants to do that. But that's what I did, and there's other ways to get clients. But I'll say this, and I don't want to again, in the risk of oversimplifying things, a productized service is a pretty attractive model, just in and of itself.
It's consumer friendly. It's optimized for their benefit.
So if your eyeballs come across it and you're mildly interested in utilizing whatever service they're offering, it's going to attract you. So even traditional marketing, I've been lucky I haven't had to do it, but if I had to, I wouldn't be scared of it. Traditional marketing where you're just getting your business in front of people's eyeballs on social media or YouTube or whatever, I would assume would probably work pretty well.
I bet paid ads would work.
Ads, exactly. That's what Design Pickle, who does tens of millions.
Yeah, Facebook ads would crush
literally
for that.
Everywhere on YouTube too, YouTube, Facebook. So I wouldn't be scared of those things. I just personally, every business I've ever created, I just like to do it free of cost, as cheap as possible.
Exactly.
I don't like to dig into my pocket and fund my startups. It's just, I do the things that are necessary. For you, it's cameras and stuff, right? But
of course.
For me, it's okay, a good computer or whatever, and that's basically all I spend my money on in terms of work.
It's a good investment.
Yeah.
So it's almost you have you have a skill and then you have an interest, and you just happen to be kind of interested in this indie hacker software product world in general. Is that true?
Yeah, it was a community of like-minded people doing similar things as me, and I knew that there's a potential to get.
Was that before you started Designjoy though? When you say like-minded?
No, I started it with no plan of attack to get clients. Product Hunt was my one only.
So you started this journey, and it wasn't successful for a little bit, so you got interested, and so you joined Indie Hacker to try to learn?
I wouldn't say it wasn't. It was successful to my standards back then.
Okay.
I had a full-time job for
3.5
years of running Designjoy. So I was making
3.5. Wow.
Yeah, I stopped at $80K a month. I quit my job. I was literally working right over here, right next to the studio, just about.
That's crazy.
And so, I forgot where I was going with that.
You you were doing it, it was successful.
Oh yeah,
but
so
that's
I was
why you
making,
joined
like,
Indie Hacker.
let's say $7,000 to $10,000 a month. That was more than I was bringing home at my full-time job. So I was like, I'm set, you know.
Yeah.
And so I rode the Product Hunt wave for like a good year and a half to 2 years. I didn't have to do anything because my clients stuck around. Like I would get more, like once you get into Product Hunt, like you're on their email list, like people find you, show up in the related section. So it actually has a large breadth once you actually get on there. So I rode that for about 2.5 years. Then when I wanted to like take Designjoy to the next level, like it would have been fine. It might have eventually phased out. Like I was making decent money. Once I wanted to kind of take it to the next level to get to 20 or 30K, I knew I had to do something different. And I don't even know if I joined Indie Hackers for that very reason, but I knew that probably there was a possibility of getting clients from it too.
But you